Hi guys, welcome to another HOWSCHMOEDRAWS. This one will be about hands. So let's start with the structure of the hand. First off, the hand, I like to think of the hand as a mitten, and I group all the fingers as a shape at the top, and which is half of the hand, and the other half is the palm. Then when you have the top grouped shape, then you can put in the fingers. Remember that the fingers aren't completely straight on the hand, they're in a curve. My pinky finger is lower than the index finger, and a useful detail I also like to add is the dimples which the hands make, the fingers make where they meet the palm. That gives the hand a nice detail, and it's sort of a realism, and it's just not that the fingers don't go straight into the palm and stop there, but they sort of curve away. And the same thing goes for the hand, the other side of the hand. Well, you have fingernails obviously, but also these dimples, they go a bit deeper actually than from the other side, from the palm, where you see the palm. So why I think of the hand as a mitten is because it's just so much easier to have the simplified idea of the hand when you're drawing, and then you don't have to sort out everything at once. Always break stuff down into shapes, and I break it down the hand into the palm, the fingers, and then this little triangle and this knob of the thumb. Okay, so let's continue with the hands holding stuff. I always start with the palm, and from there I sort of sort my other shapes, my fingers, my mitten top, the triangle for the thumb. In this case, we have the thumb and some of the fingers hiding behind the object. And I think what's most important to this hand gripping stuff is that the fingers aren't parallel to each other. We have the pinky and the middle finger. They are grouped, and they're sort of pointing in. They're sort of making a triangular shape to each other, sort of always facing toward each other. They're not completely straight, and then the index finger is a bit apart and doing its own thing. You just sort of, when you grip something, you see that usually the index finger does something a bit different, often also the pinky. But yes, the fingers aren't parallel. And it's really important to keep track of your joints, and they are also always in a curve. Like the knuckles are making a curve, and then next the joints are aligned in a curve as well. And once you sort of have these aligned, then you don't have too long fingers, because they usually, if one would jump apart sort of out of this curve too much, then you would have a too long finger. But this way with the curves, you can sort of see if everything is positioned right, and that's what helps me to structure a hand. And when you grip an object, you don't grip it at 90 degrees. It's always a bit skewed, and then the fingers aren't sort of completely parallel to the right angle to the object. They're usually, is the word askew, but I think you know what I mean. It's not in 90 degrees. And then again, yes, always watch the fingers curling in. They don't go parallel. They always curl in. So next, let's get to touching people or touching something. I sort of I looked for a reference and I like this touching couple. First off, I sort of sorted all my shapes, where everything goes, sort of the heads touching. Then where does she touch him? Where does he touch her? I sort of positioned my really rough shapes and then added the fingers. Here you can see I grouped her middle and ring finger. Her index finger does a bit of a different thing, and the pinky is completely sort of also doing its own thing. And what's most important is sort of that you get the feel of the hand following the shape. And that again, there the mitten really helps. I sort of like to bend my palm around the object the way the object is feeling. And once you sort of have that down, I think that's when you sort of start to understand hands. Next, the floating hand. This is something I like to do when I have some foreshortening going on and I would like the hand to have a certain position. So I start off with like the head and then the hand, so I can sort of see, okay, I would like to have the hand at this position, and then later I work out where is it adjoined to the body. I find that far easier. And then there's obviously tons of possibilities of aligning that hand then to the body, but then you can sort of find out which pose is the one that suits you for this action. The positioning of the elbow in this case makes quite a difference for the pose in itself. And the foreshortening of the hand, in this case, I think that was a pretty tricky bit, because the fingers are pointing toward us and are really foreshortened, and the thumb isn't, which makes it a bit weird because the thumb looks so big. But by sort of indicating the bits where the fingers overlap, that helps with drawing foreshortening. I like drawing the fingertips, sort of giving them some volume, and that way the foreshortening becomes believable. You can see how I indicated that's how I think of the fingers then, of these tubes overlapping, and that way I can sort of keep track of where the fingers go exactly. And last but not least, some quick hands. I think this might be a bit helpful to just sort of see me quickly drawing hands, how I structure them, how I think of aligning the fingers, and even like holding something, this complex position of hands holding a camera gets simple if you sort of start off with the big shapes and then break the hands down further and further to get your hands. I mean, I didn't do this without reference. Without reference, I'd be sort of also stunted, because you don't know. I mean, I could construct them, but sort of get the positions so that it feels really realistic. You need reference, and from using the reference, you'll sort of get used to drawing hands, and then there will be positions which you can do without reference. If you draw tons of hands holding cameras, you will be able to always draw characters holding cameras. And so you practice the poses which you do often, or maybe also practice poses you don't do often. While doing this exercise, I was thinking about how I don't draw. I always have my standard hands which I draw, but some positions I don't really do often. So that's really helpful, and I really love drawing hands just to practice from time to time. So yeah, I think that's what I have about hands. I hope you liked this video. I think I found a really good system for myself now. I did really struggle with this, and I redid the whole thing. I drew new hands and I structured it new, and then I had a new way of recording it, and now I finally feel that I know how to do these video tutorials. I'm probably still learning but I think I'm on the good way. So, but let me know if you thought something was missing, if I can do something better the next time. Yeah, let me know in the comments, and I hope you liked this, and see you next time. Thanks for being awesome Patreons. Love you guys. Bye bye. This video was made possible by my wonderful Patreons. If you liked it and would like to support me, come and find me on Patreon, where you'll find exclusive videos, tutorials like my HOWSCHMOEDRAWS, and loads of behind the scenes stuff.